There's quite a lot of challenges that I've experienced in my time in the industry space, like, unnecessary competition in the space, especially amongst women. A distributor is really great. They can sort of educate you about music business, the rights, your contracts, because people are signing things and they don't understand what they're signing. Hi, my name is Bokang Ramatlapeng. I am a jazz vocalist, a music director, and a scholar, music scholar. Yeah. What drew me to jazz music was my older sister. She played incredible records at home, ranging from Nina Simone, Pat Metheny, Sibongile Khumalo, Abdullah Ibrahim. So I think for me, the type of records made me curious about, what is this sound? It sounded sophisticated. It sounded, like there was stories to tell that would probably outlive many of us. So I was really drawn to that. Well, it began when I was 14 years old, when I enrolled at the National School of the Arts. And I think once that audition happened, it was over. It was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I took the step further to, educate myself and invest in my art. I think it's important to study the music because it helps you sort of know how to use your skill, and it helps you to also create an opportunity for you to have longevity. Because once you use your talent and you realize that my talent actually needs to be honed, I need to sit down and actually apply myself. It helps you to create also a market for yourself. You understand how to become appealing to the market that you're interested in. Also, you can be skillful. I think being skillful is such a rare thing in this industry because people really think that it's all just about singing and dancing and all, but it's actually far more than that. It's actually a skill, it's a profession. So professionalism is also a thing that I think is important when you go to school rather. They teach you about how to be a professional. They teach you how to work in the business, how to become a business. But also, I think education it's an important thing all around for any type of industry that you're in. Because once you educate yourself, you understand what you're doing, how to do it, and how to also enjoy it more than anything, because it can get tough. So I did do a sing deal last year for the Market Theatre. For a children's play. I did music for a children's play. So it comes and goes. It's almost like you get it for 6 months and then they call you back if the work is that great. So I did get something again. So every year if they like the play again, they take the play and say, we want to do this again. And they obviously will pay you for the music that you did. So if anybody from any part of the world says we like this play, obviously they'll have to speak to me or speak to the people that were involved and say, hey, we want to do this play again, and they pay you a fee for using your music. So yes. Firstly, they obviously have to explain to you what your role is. And for me, it was actually word of mouth. It was a friend that said to me, hey, listen, I've got a friend that is really a great composer. How about we use her for our play? Because it was starting from scratch. So I think for me, what got me to get into that, because you're explaining the far more intricate parts of this, for me, it was not even as intricate as that. It was just a conversation of, I need to prove myself. We met my friend said, hey, listen, my friend is really great. Can you use her for the play? I proved myself. And immediately there was obviously a contract that they gave to me and said to me, this is what's happening. Your original score, this is the music that you'll be writing. If we like that music, we'll pay you again. If the play happens again, then. So I got a fee for the 6 months first to also create the music, then obviously teach the people the music, the artists, because they had to sing the music. So obviously then the work moves away from just sitting in studio, creating the backing track, writing the lyrics, and putting it into a CD or whatever it is, and giving it to them. So that's essentially what happened with me. It was a word of mouth conversation. Gave me a contract and said, this is what we expect you to do, the music. Soundscape, there's also a soundscape that I did. Obviously a soundscape is little things, birds chirping, or somebody crying, or the police or whatever. So you also do sound design rather. let me call it, yeah, it is sound design. So it moved away from just that. It was just like a whole thing that I had to do. So it was more of a contract that was given to me and explained what my role was, and I did what I needed to do. So if next year again or this year or anybody takes it, then there is something that would come back to me. It's at least a good contract in a sense that they opened it again at the beginning of this year and I got a fee paid to me because of they're using original music. So yes. I think for me, because I've just been independent for 3.5 years, I'm only seeing that importance right now, because I think right now I've been managing myself quite well. I think also just now that I've become a scholar, I'm learning music business and what I'm studying currently. So I'm learning about these particular roles, and I see the importance of having a publisher because they can help you sort of guide you of what type of contracts you're taking, what type of interactions are you having, because people find themselves doing things and not realizing that I'm doing more than I should.
Yes.
And a manager or a publisher or anybody that's helping you sort of promote your work or to create work for you, they can help you. So for me, I've been I think I've been everything to myself right now that I've fairly managed myself well, but I think a manager would be a great thing to sort of cement my career and sort of help me not worry about all these other things. But I do think having those things, people to help you, a distributor is really great. They can sort of educate you about music business, the rights, your contracts, because people are signing things and they don't understand what they're signing. So I've been all of those things to myself right now, and I think I'll be doing fairly well with that. But for now, I hope I'm good. But looking into it, if my career grows, yes, I'll get into having people like that. Firstly, I'm inspired by my creator. I think, like anybody is, you're curious about this person that created you. So I think my first curiosity is like, who's this person? Who's this force that's living, that's created the things that we see? I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by my culture. I'm Sotho. I love my culture. I'm curious about my culture. So my music and my curiosity and my inspiration will stem from my people who raised me. Like, I was raised by my older sisters. They're strong women, and they're the only people that have sort of, helped me become the woman I am today. And also they've helped me, express myself in a very, how do I say it? I don't want to say it being strong is just the only thing that women can be, but they've taught me to be vulnerable and how to use that vulnerability as strength. So that is my inspiration, and how my music will sort of have those elements of femininity rather, and also just celebrating matriarchs in families. Like, my sisters are incredible, and I think that will come out. And when you're asking how it helps me to, as a woman in the industry, having strong women in my family, or women that have used their vulnerability as strength, comes out in my music. There's like so much to say about that, but yeah. Sure, I've got a lot, but my Sia Makuzeni, an incredible trombone player. Sis Mokima Kona is my vocal. She taught me vocals a couple of years ago when I was still a teen. Jasmine Horn is from the States, incredible vocalist. And everybody's fave, Zoe Muricha is also one of my, of course, incredible sister in the industry. She's been very supportive of my career, so incredible. There's quite a lot of challenges that I've experienced in my time in the industry space, like, unnecessary competition in the space, especially amongst women. There's not a lot of, a lot of women probably can disagree with this, but I think what I've learned that there's not a lot of, community. There's a lot of, we always put up against each other, and it sort of makes you uncomfortable to be, yourself sometimes, because there's always this particular standard that you're supposed to meet in order for you to be welcomed in the industry. And I just feel like all of us have to fill in our own stilettos. We're fabulous women in the industry. We've got our own shoes to fill. So the challenges are there. There's this unnecessary competition, but also there's, I think a lot of men haven't still opened up the industry for women, especially instrumentalists, females that are instrumentalists. I don't even like to use the woman instrumentalist remark. It's quite demeaning to the fact that they work quite tirelessly to become proficient in playing any instrument. We are welcome to the table anyway. So I feel like they could be more. And the challenge is for us that are trying to learn instruments, that want to perform on stage with our male counterparts in the jazz industry. There's still a bit of a shock. There's still a bit of a, can she do it? Can she really play? Can she play that good? And if you do, they make you seem like it's some miracle and you just went to school like anybody else to learn an instrument. So those are unique challenges that I think could just, it needs to just be abolished. I think we all just need to be welcoming to any woman that's in the industry, in the jazz space. There's a standard that just is a bit too high. Just we are learning, and open up the industry for people to learn, so that once we learn, we can also have a seat on the table. I think number one, remove just like any gender to anything. It's just because putting gender to anything, especially music, is a bit it's unnecessary. I think gender would matter in others particulars, like in sports. I definitely understand in sports, but in arts we don't really need to have a gender thing going on. If you're a bass player, you're a bass player. If you're a saxophone player, you're a saxophone player. And I think that could just be a cool thing to just remove. But also another thing that could be redefined is all musicians are constantly learning. We're ever evolving. So you've never made it. You'll never make it as an artist. If you think you've made it, then I don't know what you like. I think that's a lie, because you're constantly learning as an artist. You're ever evolving. You'll never stop learning. So I think the competition element, which could be redefined as competition, is people that sort of have a competitive spirit, are people that think they've made it. But if you're a person that is not really about competition, you know that person is still learning. If you ever watch a performance and you see somebody fumbling their lines, you be human and say, oh man, like I used to be like that, because you used to be like that. We've had moments like that. And I think that's how to redefine it is be human, like human. Just be a human, put yourself in that person's shoes and say, man, like I remember not knowing how to play my saxophone at some point. But now that I know, why should I be that person that's sort of saying I'm here, I've arrived, and make other people uncomfortable because they're still learning. So I think that can it be abolished? It would be great if that could happen. It's an incredible, nod for me, because it's been difficult to, find myself in this space. There's been some support that I've gotten, but having this type of recognition affirms me as a young woman in the industry, and it makes me understand my role in this industry, that I have a responsibility in the industry for women, to represent women in the industry, and also just show that we are incredible, that we can actually also be skillful, that we can actually we can do it. We really can do anything we want to do. So, and I'm also grateful for the Basadi Music Awards for equipping young women with skills, telling and doing workshops, showing them how to become artists, or whatever they do behind the scenes or on the stage, or it could be education. There's so much that Basadi Music has done for young women in the industry. So just getting that nod makes me feel great. It makes me feel like, yeah, okay, let's keep doing this. And also the responsibility for other women that are coming after me to say, oh man, we've got big sisters in the industry that are doing it, and they are showing us how to do it. So it's really great. There's so much to say about it, but yeah. Oh wow, I've never been asked that question. Sure. You're making me think about myself in different ways because I'm only 27. So I'm like, whoa, like, there's so much to live for. How I'd like to be remembered is just like a you know, I want people to feel good around me. So I want to be a human that, like, I want people to remember as someone that, like, every time I was around Bokang, I felt okay. I felt like I'm going to be okay. I'm going to grow. I'm going to learn. And I took something. Bokang is a person that when we're around her, we are feeling okay. We can cry. We can have fun. We can laugh. We can grow. Maybe she'll tell you a bit of truths there and there about life. Like, no, not that. This. That's how I'd like to be remembered but also as a jazz artist, I'd like to be remembered as a prolific jazz musician, a skillful one, someone that, I love solos. I like to take jazz solos. So I want to be remembered too for being a woman that took incredible jazz solos, like Ella Fitzgerald or Siama Kuzeni. Like, listen, that's something I really would like to be remembered as. But my legacy is legacy of, I don't know how to even say what type of legacy I'd like to leave, but I think number one, for me, the humanity element is such a big thing for me. People think that Ubuntu is such a cliche line right now, but it really is. It really is what it is. It's supposed to be. Because once you can just be a person that people can learn from, a humble person, you grow. You learn from. I can take anything from you right now in this moment. I could learn, and I could leave this from a different person because of just a 5-minute conversation. So the type of legacy I want to leave is someone that is infectious, someone that is constantly teaching but is also learning, someone that is a big sister in the industry that's going to say, no, don't try that gig, try this one, don't work with those people, work with these people. Or, hey, do you need something happened, my studio didn't, somebody did this to me, I'm there, I'm available, I can give you advice, I don't know, like Mamleta Mbulu is always open. Her door is always open to these incredible young musicians. And I want to be like that. I want to be able to be that type of person that, says, we have Bokang Ramatlapeng. Mam Bokang is there. I don't know, oh my gosh, saying that. But, I want that because people like Tanusa Mazwai also have that element. When you see her, she's opened her doors to young musicians. She's had conversations with them. And she can see, man, this person is a human. Like, people are laughing because she's just realized it's not that deep. Like, this name I've worked hard for has sort of made me seem like I'm this big human, but no, I'm actually just another human, a girl from Ekasi that just, I can go have a kota anytime, even if I'm this person, or I can go have a drink somewhere and just really just be a human and what say you and we leave at 2 a.m. because it was so great. That type of legacy I want to have as an artist because that element has sort of been lost. There's this godlike energy that a lot of mainstream artists have, but I feel like it needs to be completely eradicated because it makes other people that watch us make it seem like we're not human, that we don't have we have downtimes. And that maybe sometimes I don't want to release that album because I'm depressed or something. And when those moments come, I would like to know, because I've supported you and I've shown you that I'm human, you will take that human element and go, yeah, maybe she wasn't okay. Because most celebrities, every time they're not okay, it's always like it's a shock. But that person's the human. They're going to have downtimes. It's a normal thing for any person in the world to have really rocky times. So that's the type of legacy I want to have. And I think Tanusa Mazwai is a great example of the type of human. Or Abigail Kubega. If Abigail Kubega can walk in now, we'll be laughing because she's like, it's not that deep. So yeah. I think working with Nduduza Makatini has been something that I'm like, whoa, okay. It's rewarding for me because putting in the time, being in a practice room sometimes and you're practicing something, you're like, will I ever make it? Will I ever sit down and work with people I want to work with? Having that moment for me was really affirming and saying, okay, the crying in the practice rooms, practicing that scale 5 million times. Okay, it's really making sense now. So that was really rewarding. But also just being recognized by people in my peers in the jazz space is also quite rewarding. Because then you know that, okay, we're doing something right. And I think, yeah, like that's, yeah, being seen by my peers is quite rewarding, and working with my katinis and working with really other incredible musicians is quite rewarding for me. An album would be one. It's gonna take quite a long time for that to happen, but I really hope that I could, achieve that. But definitely it's something that I've been working on. And hopefully more nominations, ma'am. Like,
of course.
It's not gonna stop right now. But like more nominations, I think would be really great in the space. But album first, I think is like the main thing, and more music directing work. I don't really wear one cap anymore. So I'm really curious about contributing in any form of art, if it's visual arts, dramatic arts, I'm everywhere. Hopefully I could make my mark in the arts and entertainment industry anyway. Panicking. Stop panicking. You're doing just fine. And it's gonna really be okay. It really is gonna be okay. And that your sisters love you. Like my sisters, because when you're growing up, sometimes when you're being scolded by your parents, there are moments where you think that this person doesn't like me. How do you shout at me? Because our parents always are the most, critical of us. But sometimes being critical of us is to hold us accountable. So I think now that I'm older and looking at and what I would tell my younger self is really listen to your parents, or listen to your elders. Sometimes their critique might be too harsh at that moment, but really there's always a lesson out there, and that they really love you. And those lessons, those are the moments, and those critical moments where you see their love, where you see that, this is true love. This is something that you can't just get from anybody outside, because not everybody's critical of you. Sometimes some critique could just be anything, just to be mean, but there's some critique that is there to edify you, to pour into you, to hold you accountable, but to also keep you on your toes and say, like, I need to represent people, and that you being on this earth, you have responsibilities in your family to become either a great human or something else, right? But yeah, so much to say about that. This is Bokang Ramatlapeng, and I am on Mokima Kona.